Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. And today, I'm going to look at some Kickstarters and game founds that I am considering backing. I'm going to change it up from what I've done in the past. In the past, I kind of looked at 5 I wasn't going to back, and then 1 that I might think about in the future. And I think this time, not only am I going to look at more active Kickstarters than I have in the past, because a lot of times in the past I'd looked at ones that mostly had been gone or will be closed by the time this video comes out. Now I'm going to look at things with a little more longevity. If I'm doing this once a month, you know, I want to give the viewers a chance to maybe look into the games on their own. That's not to say there aren't some that have already closed on this list. It was kind of a quiet month, so to speak, in the community of crowdfunding. But there's quite a few out there. So what I'm going to do with this list is do a top 5 countdown of the crowdfunding campaigns that are winding down in the near future or just past wind down that I would consider backing if I had unlimited funds. These are the ones that most strike my interest. And I'm doing it in a countdown like a normal countdown. So the 5th one is the one I'm least interested in or least likely to back, I guess I should say. Not necessarily least interested in. Because I'm actually interested in probably more than 5 if I had unlimited funds. But in likeliness of backing, so that way my number 1 on this list will be something that I may end up backing after all, and we'll get to that when we get there. So without further ado, let's take a look at first an honorable mention, because I know if I did a top 5 list without mentioning one that I did back in this case, you guys might question it, maybe not, I don't know. But just to cover my own butt here, the first one's an honorable mention because I did back this. It did just finish, and I will be getting this game in the future when it ships. So this is the one I did back before we get into the 5 that I'm probably not going to back. But the number 1 I may pull the trigger on still. All right, so let's go to the cam here. All right, so the game I did back is going to be Castles of Burgundy, and I backed it at the Sundrop level. Which isn't currently listed on the page. I just wasted a bunch of time scrolling through trying to find this specific pledge level, and I guess it's gone now that the campaign is closed. But I did not back it at the base game level, and I'm sure these might open up again here with an after or late entry pledging. But I backed it at a higher level than this, just not for all the goodies necessarily, but specifically for the tiles upgrade that are going to come automatically in that set. Just because the acrylic tiles look so much nicer than the cardboard tiles, and I just wanted to be able to like have that upgraded component from the get-go instead of wishing, you know, I had gone away from the cardboard components. But Castles of Burgundy, I have not actually played this game. It's on BGA, Board Game Arena, so I could check it out anytime. But everything I've seen about the game, I know I will like it, and so I was interested in getting it already. I found out about the special edition version. It's got a bunch of additional materials, like I said, upgraded components, upgraded board, new expansions, including a solo play, and this Vineyards expansion that we're looking at right now. It's got board overlay tiles, if I can find those here real quick. That might be it. Nope, that's more of the Vineyard expansion. But yep. It's going to have some overlays, some new boards, and anytime you get variety in things, I'm all for that. You know, instead of just the basic components, upgraded bags to pull things out with the rounded bags. Miniatures, big deal for me. I mean, they look good, but wasn't something that pulled me in necessarily. But yeah, turn order tiles, the wooden goods markers, those sound pretty neat. Not needed. The solo automa definitely is something I would have backed for. Unique monastery tiles, that's just again an upgraded component from the base game. And oh, there's the Sundrop pledge, and the reason I got it was for the upgraded tile bits right there. So and the board overlay, everything about this looks great. I'm really excited to get it. Yeah, here's what I was talking about. Everybody has their individual board, and they're going to have an overlay so everything locks in place, so you're not going to bump your tiles all around. But that's enough about this game. Let's get into the top 5 now. Number 5 is Soro. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's the luxury edition of the game. And this thing is not something I would get unless I just had a bunch of money to spend. It's a really expensive campaign, but it looks so nice. It's this big wooden crate full of all the pieces. It's going to sit on your shelf. It's going to be an heirloom item. It's going to look great. The game itself, it's not worth the price. I played it on the app, not in real, or in person, I should say. But it's an interesting game. It's not a bad game in any way. I would enjoy playing it for sure. This box is just so much. It looks so great, but it's so expensive. How much is this? Yeah, $350. Just to get a game that's basically moving tiles on a board in 10 to 15 minutes, I guess. It plays, I think, 1 to 8, so that's pretty cool. But this is literally just because of the collectorsness of it. I don't think that's a word, but it is now. It's so fancy. It's so fancy. It looks great. If I had money to spend on it, I definitely would, just because it looks so neat. But this is not something I could ever justify backing in my current situation, that's for sure. The rules are literally on the scroll you roll out. The tiles are kept in the silk bag with these wooden components. And the game is you're just laying these tiles out, and you're moving your block along the lines that you see there. And as new tiles get played, all the blocks that are on lines that connect to that tile are going to move further to the end of where the line ends. And the object is to be the last person with a tile on the board, because if you run into another tile, or if your tile falls off the edge of the board, you're out. And basically that's all you're doing, is taking turns laying a tile and moving your stones. The upgraded stone bits are these sculpted dragons. Like I said, the rules are a scroll. You're going to get the certificate of authenticity. It's just so ridiculously extravagant that I definitely would love to get my hands on it. But I'm definitely not going to. So that's my number 5. Number 4 is something else I would love to get my hands on, and that's a nice gaming table. And of the ones available right now, the Bristol one is the one that I think is the best. And again, this is just, I can't financially afford it, but I would love to get my hands on an actual gaming table. I have upgraded since I started this video series to a wooden table at least. But to get an actual inlaid gaming table that fits the mat and all your components and everything, they look great. Bristol makes Geek and Son, I guess, makes a great set of tables, and this is the one that's currently on Kickstarter, or on GameFound, I should say, with all of these additional components, table and any colors. I'm not going to explain what a game table is. This is my number 4. I can't afford to, but I would love to get a gaming table, and this is the one that's currently available that steps out at me. There's another one available that has magnetic components that you can stick on. I think it's a little cheaper, but for me, it's just I would rather get a little bit more and get this version of the table. So that's my number 4. My number 3 that I'm interested in right now also has finished recently. That's Arcs. And Arcs is from Leader Games. They made Oath and Roots and Vast, a bunch of games that are variable player powers. Everybody's kind of got their own set of rules that they follow. I believe this one follows that same scheme, variable powers for each player. You're laying things out, you're exploring space in Arcs, and you're trying to, as far as my understanding is, again, I haven't looked into this a whole lot, but I know the background of Leader Games had me intrigued. I have not played Root or Vast or any of those yet, but I've been interested in them. And I'm interested in this one, but not enough to back it at this time. And that is Arcs. The number 2 game that I would be interested in backing, but I'm not going to, Bark Avenue, and this one also closed. I'm sure it's got a late pledge entry it talks about shortly. Yep, so backer kit has a pledge manner open for this game if you want to late pledge it. And this is a pick up and deliver type game where you're walking dogs. You've got various dogs that are going to come out, and you're going to walk them through the city to various points and try to pick up things or do things with each individual dog to try to please as many of them as you can along the way, and trying to be the best dog walker. This looks cute. It's it looks like an easy game to kind of play for the most part. I don't think this is going to be an extreme game. This should be on the entry level side. And the fact that it's just dogs and dog walking should be able to get various people on board, regardless of their playing prowess. So there's yep, you're gonna roll dice, and you're going to walk dogs, and you're going to try to do the things that the dogs want to do along the way, including the doggy poop. There's some doggy poop, what am I looking for? Bits, not actual bits of poop, but yeah, the tokens here. It's kind of weird. I don't know how that comes into play, other than that's a thing that dogs literally do while you're walking them in the cities. These cool little dog and people meeples. Like, nothing about this game looks like it's something that's not at least fun. I can't speak much for how the game actually plays, but it looks great, and they've had some great backing levels where you can put your own dog in the game and everything. So it's a neat campaign that just finished recently. It did fund. It's got a late pledge manager if you want to get into it. But yeah, dog walking, like the board game. And so finally we're getting to my number one, the game I'm most interested in, and it's got 15 days to go, so I got 15 days to decide whether I'm going to back it or not. It's First in Flight. I am a history buff by trade. I got a bachelor's in history. I enjoy history, and I enjoy aviation. I do a lot of just general, not studies, but I follow aviation things from time to time, watch videos on it, and it's always interested me, flight. And this is kind of, you're racing to be the first one to get that first big flight under your belt. The thing I like about it, it's got a little bit of pressure luck and a little bit of tension and movement, because whoever's the furthest along on this track here is going to be the player that goes, and you can go anywhere on the track that you want, and you're going to do whatever's related to the space you go to. So if you're someone who takes a big leap to get the thing you want, everybody behind you could do X, Y, and Z moves before you get another turn. So you're going to be skipping up on other turns to guarantee you get the thing you need, because if you don't go for it, maybe they're going to take it on their turn. So it's got that kind of back and forth between the players. And then apparently when you get into the flight part of the game, it's got some push your luck where you're drawing cards constantly to try to keep your plane in the air. But you're going to run into like various potential malfunctions that could bring your plane down, and that's not good. And the game just plays over the course of time, trying to play to the point where you're completing the necessary long flight to be the first in flights. And I'm definitely interested in everything about this game. I just can't for sure back it or not back it at this time. It's still something I'm considering. And again, I've got a couple weeks, you've got a couple weeks, or a little bit less than a couple weeks by the time this posts. If you're interested, go check it out. If you're interested in any of these games, go check them out. Yep, so that's my top 5 games. So there you have it, my top 5 games that I was considering getting on crowdfunding right now, with number 1 being something I might get, the other 4 not so much, and then the bonus, I did back Castles of Burgundy, and I'm looking forward to getting that on the table here in the next year or so when it ships. So that's it for me. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below about what things you're interested in. If there's anything on this list you wanted to see or think I should have looked at during the middle of June, because again, it's June 15th. Maybe I missed something. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. I try to release one a week. Generally, it's going to be Sunday at noon, and with an occasional bonus video in between. I'm Brian from Gizmo Board Games. Thanks for watching.